Hi everybody and welcome. I'm Tammy and today I'm super excited to share with you something that's new to me, sheet pan pancakes. Have you ever heard of such a thing? I know, right? So our daughter has been making them. She has a family of 5 and she was really getting tired of pancakes taking so long, and she saw on the internet that you could make sheet pan pancakes, so she started doing that for her family. Of course, she does a much larger quantity than what I'm going to show you today because there's just the 2 of us. But it's such an ingenious idea. We just have to get used to having square pancakes instead of round ones. So the last time that my grandkids spent the night, the next day they wanted pancakes and I made them, and they said, well, they call me Lita, and they said, Lita, they're not square. And that's because their mom has been making them the sheet pan pancakes. So anyway, it's very exciting. It's very easy to do, and they're vegan, they're salt-free and oil-free, and they're absolutely delicious, and we're gonna top them and make them really pretty as well. And I'm going to be starting by making the flour in my Vitamix. And so I'm going to take the rolled oats and I'm going to turn them into oat flour. Yeah, you can buy oat flour, but it's a lot more expensive than if you just buy the rolled oats and then mill it yourself right in your Vitamix blender. So I also want to share with you that Vitamix has a wonderful sale going on right now for this exact model. This is my first Vitamix, and they have a great price going on a reconditioned one. So it's a certified reconditioned V1200 direct from the Vitamix factory, which is in Ohio. And you will save $120 off of this machine. Now, Tom and I bought ours years ago at Costco, and we paid something like $545 for it. Normally their reconditioned sells for $449.95, but you can get it now through April 6th for $329.95. It is a great deal. So you will get a brand new container. Everything that touches the food will be new. So you'll get a new container, you'll get a new tamper, and you'll also get a 20-ounce. And I should get that out. I didn't even get out my other props, Tom. So I'm gonna grab that, and I'm gonna grab a tamper to show you the tamper and the cookbook as well. So here we go. So it will include the Vitamix Simply Blending cookbook, which has a lot of different recipes in it. They are not all vegan, but they will inspire you. And I think everybody knows how to veganize the recipes. You also get this 20-ounce container so that you can make smaller quantities of like dressings and sauces, and you get the blade base, and this is what allows you to be able to use this on the blender. And then you also get the 64-ounce low profile container. And what that means is that this will fit underneath your standard size kitchen cabinets, which is great because we want to have our blender out because we use them all the time. So I love the V1200. It works great. We use our blender just about every day for making various vegan, healthy foods. So it's a big part of our kitchen. I wouldn't know what to do without it, just like I love my Breville Smart Oven Air. And I'm also going to be using that for the pancakes as well. So let's get started. I'm just going to move these things out of the way here. shouldn't need the tamper for this, but we will see. So I know people always want to know what kind of oats we're using. We used to buy our rolled oats in a big 25-pound bag from Winco Foods, and the last 2 times we attempted to do that, they had been over-processed and over-milled, and they were almost a flour. And so what we've been buying are these. We get these 1 degree organic, certified, gluten-free, sprouted rolled oats from Costco. Really great price. Not all Costco's have them, and like ours is sold out right now. So when they do get them in, we buy a lot and stock up because they have a long shelf life. And then I am using some date. Oh, that's too bright for me, Tom. I do use some date powder. This is from Well Your World. It's optional. Tom, it's too bright. It's blinding me, seriously. Oh, much better, thank you. Or you could use date sugar if you wanted to. You probably could throw a couple of dates in, but I was afraid that that might cause it to be too sticky, but I haven't tried that. So the first thing that I do is I take my 2 cups of plant milk, it's unsweetened, and I add a tablespoon of vinegar to it, and then I just let that set. And I did that previously, so it's been sitting for about 10 minutes or so while I was getting everything together. I actually made these for the first time just this morning, and Tom and I were really impressed, and I said, oh, let's go live and let's show everybody how to make these.
I didn't know we were doing a video today until about 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I didn't text you, Jesse, because I didn't want to bother people on Sunday. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to mill the oats into a flour in here, and it works beautifully. What I like to do is I like to do a few batches at a time and then put them in a container in my pantry so that I don't have to do this step every time I go to make something with oat flour. So I have 2 3/4 cups of rolled oats, and I'm just going to put those in the blender container. Just looking for a place to put this, and I typed up the recipe. I typed it up. It's on the blog already so that you guys would have it, because this is a really fun recipe. So we just turn on the Vitamix. This one has an off-on switch here on the side, so it's a toggle switch. So you just turn that on. I want to make sure that I have this turned down to the lowest speed when I start. So on this Vitamix, you have pulse over here on the left as you're facing it, and then on the right is the off-on switch. You always want to start at a low speed so that everything doesn't go kerpush and get blown up to the top of the Vitamix container. I have done that. Tom has done it. You'll soon learn that it's not a good idea. And so then I'm just going to start it on that low power, but then I'm going to turn it up very quickly, and you'll see how fast it turns these oats into a flour. And it doesn't have to be a really fine grind, because I'm going to put everything is going to go back in the blender, and it'll all get blended yet again. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this out into my bowl, because I want to have my liquids down by the blades when I start blending everything. And so I'm going to add, I have 1 ripe banana. So, you want it where it's really spotty so that it's nice and sweet. So we'll put that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cups of plant milk with that vinegar. And that just kind of makes it a little bit like buttermilk, believe it or not. So we'll add that in. And then I have my flour, so we'll go ahead and add that back in. But it'll blend much easier since I have the liquid in the bottom. And then this is my little bit, I have a 1/4 cup of the Well Your World date powder. And I have my baking powder. And then I have some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and some vanilla powder. And you can use vanilla extract if you don't have just ground vanilla beans. You can use vanilla extract. If I was using vanilla extract, I would use 2 teaspoons of that or 1 teaspoon of the vanilla powder. Oh man, it smells so good, so good. You could use like pumpkin pie spice in this if you wanted to. That would work as well. So then we just put the lid back on. Make sure it's on secure. And then I'm going to turn this back down to low. I remembered. And then I'm going to give it a start. And then I'm going to ramp it up, and it'll blend pretty quickly. Tom's going to push something. Are you waiting for me?
Go ahead.
Okay. And I just have a little bit of flour that got stuck right here that I'm just going to push down. Sometimes that happens. If it was moist right there when I dumped that flour in, then it can get stuck. And now I'm just going to give it another little blend. Okay, and that's it. I mean, the high-powered blender makes really easy work of this. If you are doing something that's really thick, like when I'm doing hummus, then the nice thing is that you can open up the center. Well, if I can do it. Here we go. And you can use the tamper. So this will go down in there. It's made so that it will not hit the blade. It hovers over the blade, but it allows you to push the contents down into the blade just to make sure that you get everything blended. I mean, they've thought of everything for us. Okay, now I'm just going to move this out of the way and show you my pan. Okay, so what I have here, this is a OXO pan. It is a 10 by 15 pan, and it is non-stick, but the pancake batter, I'm afraid, would probably stick. I have lined it with a little piece of aluminum foil, and just because the wetness of the pancake batter can kind of seep through, and I just don't want to have to scrub and scrub and scrub on that pan. So that's why I do that. Then I've taken a piece of parchment paper and I have just cut it so that I have a lip around it, and that's going to prevent this from sticking to the pan. And then I'm just going to pour my pancake batter in here, and this parchment paper acts like a non-stick surface for us. So you can see it just looks like regular old pancake batter. And we're just going to get it all out. This is actually the blender spatula from Vitamix. And it works pretty good. It has a bit of an angle there, you can see, so that you can get around that blade and get all the contents out. We just don't want to waste anything. And we'll get that out here. And I'm going to show you how to wash this easily as well. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to set this over here. And then you just want to try to spread this out so that it is even across the pan, because we want it to all get done at the same time. So we spread it out, and it does have baking powder in it, so it is going to rise a little bit, but not a whole lot. Okay, it's looking good. I'm going to put that there. I kind of do this a little bit too, just to make sure. And then what we get to do is we get to decorate the top of it. So that's why I have some fresh fruit here. And my daughter, she can do, like, different kids like different things. Some kids like the raisins, some want blueberries, some want chocolate chips. And so you can, oh, I stuck my finger right in it. You can customize the pancakes according to who's eating them and what they like. So I think we'll do 5 there. So you can do fresh fruit, you could do dried fruit, you could do coconut, you could do nuts, whatever your family likes for their pancakes. And if you've got kids around, the kids can help do this. Then over here, I think we'll do some strawberries. And looks like we can do like 4 across. So it's a little bit like an art project as well, which is fun. And the grandkids always enjoy getting to help in the kitchen and play with the food a bit. So these are fun. And we just need a couple more here. Maybe that little one right there and here. I happen to love the blueberries, so we're going to do those as well. They kind of ooze a bit in the oven, but that's okay because they taste really great. So this is just kind of fun to do. I find cooking to be a great stress reducer. How about you guys? And then I have some delicious looking blackberries. They're kind of big, but I think they're still gonna work. And they'll probably sink down because they're gonna be fairly heavy. But that's okay, because this is gonna be delicious. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Did you get a good close-up of that, Tom? Let me turn it around so the strawberries are going the right way. How's that? Looks great. So what you do is you preheat the oven to 425 degrees, and then you put these in for, it's going to take between 15 and 20 minutes. I pulled it out at 15. I stuck a toothpick in. I thought they were done. I cut a square out for Tom and I, and then we decided, oh, it could use a little more. So I put it back in for about 5 minutes. So it's gonna depend on what size your pan is, how thick the batter is, and your particular oven. So do a test, cut a little piece and see, and if it's not completely done, then put it back in. And so I have the one that I did this morning. I did banana slices on the one that I did this morning, as you can see here, and the blueberries, raspberries, and then I also did raisins as well. And then you can cut them into as big or as small of squares as you want, and it's so delicious. And then if you want, of course, you can, you know, put almond butter or peanut butter or maple syrup or date syrup on top, or my blueberry sauce would be excellent to drizzle over the top of it. You could add some crushed nuts or some shredded coconut over the top, and really it could almost be dessert as well because of how simple and easy and delicious as it is. And I think that you could do a lot with this. I think you could do pumpkin pancakes with it. That would be really fun to try out in the fall, and then use pumpkin pie spice, maybe some apples sliced thinly on top of it with apple pie spice. That could be really fun as well, and just a lot that you could do with it. So Tom, I don't have my iPad, so I don't know if there's questions, comments, or what's happening.
We have some questions. Let me turn on a mic here.
Okay, so we couldn't go as right at noon. We were ready, but my mic wasn't working. So we think we're going to have to order me a new mic because it was making, and I want to show them how to wash that the blender container too.
Okay, yeah, I'll do the rough rinse and bring it over to you with some water. So Ruth wants to know, can you use oat groats instead of rolled oats?
I kind of doubt it. I don't think that you would get the same texture from that, but the only way to know is to try. So you could
have to really like blend them into
yeah,
flour
because
to begin with.
you'd have to blend them into a flour, and I don't know how easy that is to do because I haven't tried blending oat groats into a flour.
Yeah, Jesse agrees that if you have blenders powerful enough, you could, mill them.
You could mill them,
flour, yeah.
right? It would just take a lot longer, and of course it's very quick using the rolled oats.
And then Annette wants to know, do we have that blender spatula in our Amazon utensil store?
I don't know if it's available on Amazon. You can look and see. It's the Vitamix one.
Yeah.
I have a different one that's on there, but I don't know if we have the Vitamix one on there.
The link.
It's available from Vitamix, but we can look and see.
Yeah, and then in the show notes, I have the bit.ly link is for the Venturist sale. It takes you straight to that page. But down below in the show notes, I also have the regular Vitamix Nutmeg Notebook link, which takes you to their home page, and then you can check out the spatula from that as well.
Okay.
But if I can put it in the store, I will. I'll take a look at that here as we go forward and drop it in there.
And then I wanted to show them how to clean that. So do you want me to go run water in it, or you're going to run water in it?
I'm just trying to see if there's any more questions for you, and then I will. I don't see any more question marks popping up here. Yeah, no. So we're good. I'll get the water thing for you.
All right. I'm going to just cut this so they can see it. You just don't think of pancakes, at least I don't think of pancakes as being a square or a rectangle. But it's really kind of cool that you can do them like this. And it's something that I wished I had thought of when I was raising a family. So there you go. So there is a pancake square. How cool is that, you guys? I just think this is really a great idea. I love the sheet pan meals, the sheet pan tofu, and all the different things that you can make, the sheet pan vegetables. So Tom, half full of water and then 2 squirts of soap.
How many?
Two little drops of soap. So we'll just show you how you can clean up the blender pretty easily. I had a banana out, but then I went to town with all those berries and didn't get to show you putting a banana. But you just slice.
Your finished one.
Yeah, but just slice the banana. Over here, I've got the lid, babe.
Oh, you got the lid?
I do. I got flour everywhere.
So I just gave it a rough rinse, not a complete rinse?
Right. We usually just give it a little bit of a rinse. And this isn't going to clean this up. This you do have to do in the sink with a dishcloth. But so we just have it like half full of warm water, 2 squirts of soap, just a couple drops of soap, and then you just run it up to a minute on high. Start out low and then ramp up. I'm not going to run it a full minute because I don't want you guys to leave because it's so noisy.
I turned it down.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. But you just run it for like a minute and it will even get the lid nice and clean for you. And then here where I was pouring, we'll just take a dishcloth and wipe that off because you've got all this wonderful soapy water in here, and then rinse it with warm water. And if you want to keep it nice and clear looking, then go ahead and hand dry it, because it's the hard water, that all the minerals that are in the water that cause it to get all spotty and kind of cloudy. But if you dry it with a soft kitchen towel right away, then that will help prevent that from happening. And if you have a model that has gotten kind of cloudy on you, go on the Vitamix website under their frequently asked questions. They have some different methods of things that you can do to get it nice and clean again. So, but you know, it's kind of a badge of honor. If you use yours a lot like we do, eventually it's gonna look like it's been used, and that's okay, because we want to use these. So what do you have? Do you have questions?
No, I misspelled Vitamix though.
Oh.
I got Vitamix.
Vitamix?
I'm going to delete it and do it over.
Okay. That's so funny. So anyway, we love our Vitamix blender. We have 2 of them because we can't be without. And sometimes, you know, for cooking demonstrations, we need to have multiple bases and containers so that we can pull everything off that we want to do. So it's the best high-powered blender that we have had. We had a different brand before, and we actually ended up taking it back to Costco, and we got this one instead. So if you're a Vitamix owner and you love it, please let us know in the comments. And what would you like to know more about how to use the Vitamix? Because, you know, I would love to do more videos. I've gotten a lot of wonderful feedback this past few days. People have told me, oh my gosh, I am learning so much from your Vitamix presentations. I bought one. One lady did tell me she's had it, I think, for 7 years and never taken it out of the box. So I was like, oh my gosh, get that thing out. And a couple other people said, oh, now you've inspired me. I'm going to try to make the hot soup. So if you haven't seen the video that we released on Friday, go to in our YouTube channel. We did 3 recipes on Friday. It was one that we recorded in advance, but I made the blender waffles, and I made the Ultimate Caesar salad dressing. If you haven't tried that yet, you have to try that dressing. And also a carrot ginger soup that is dynamite. So we really, really like it. What you got going?
Nikki wants to know when you're going to do another batch prep live marathon morning show. She's, you know, she's been breaking the batch cooking up into smaller segments as of late, because it's been such a busy season from us ever since mid-January.
Well, before that,
yeah,
back when we got COVID in November. And then we were working on the batch cooking course.
Yeah, see, we haven't picked up where we left off really in late October. That's where we need to kind of pick up our life.
We do, yeah.
So
so we've just been crazy busy since then.
Okay.
So I haven't been doing big batch cooking sessions. So this morning, after I made the sheet pan pancakes, I got our salads made for the week. So I can show you that. So
Karen says she wants to buy an oat roller and make her own rolled oats from groats.
wow.
Oh.
So I got our salads made.
Oh, you were batch prepping salads this
Yeah,
morning.
I got 14 salads made. So I've got more, and we made the cheese sauce last night and the cheesy broccoli rice casserole last night. So I need to make like some kind of a soup. We're getting low on soups in the freezer again. And so I need to make a big batch of some kind of soup. And if you haven't made the smoky black beans and rice, that recipe is really taking off. And people are batch prepping the dry ingredients in jars, in mason jars, so that they can just, so they can just dump it in the Instant Pot and go. I thought that was really great. Our friend Dixie sent me a message, a text message, And she said, I think this totally could be something you could sell. You could, batch prep all the dry ingredients and the seasonings and use dehydrated onions, and it could be like a soup mix. I said, great idea. I'm not going there, but if somebody wants to,
that's a whole batch of regulations, licenses, and fees that I don't want to get into.
But it's really been we've been getting a lot of positive feedback. It's been a very popular recipe.
I rolled over here because I thought there might be samples.
Right here's a sample for you.
So yeah.
So anyway, some variations on this would be fun too.
When would we do a live batch prep? Those happen
kind of spontaneously.
If we have a bigger list and we hit Costco and Whole Foods and sometimes Trader Joe's and get back here and it's not too late.
Oh, are you talking about a batch cooking or a shopping haul?
I'm talking about two of the unrelated. My brain took a left turn. Now,
okay, I'm going to get my chair and sit down.
Batch cooking happens when she's got a multiple list of things she's going to do in one morning, and it's been quite a while since we've done those.
And here's the thing: it takes a lot longer when we do it live. Because I have to talk about everything that I'm doing and answer questions, and so it takes a lot longer.
I will add though that batch prep.
It's fun.
Live batch preps are some of our highest viewed videos.
They are. People love those and the grocery hauls.
Well, I think they turn them on and batch cook their own batch cooking while they're watching or listening to your batch cooking.
Probably. They could.
So anyway, okay, I have to hit the down arrow and see if there's any more questions here.
Okay, please do.
Because it's stuck up here.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on here this morning. I do have to get some food prepped.
Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe making the hearty lentil stew because we haven't had that in a while, and we don't have any in the freezer right now. And that's one that we do like to keep in the freezer. So I might make that. And I made a half batch. I don't know why I made a half batch of the smoky beans and rice.
When?
But the other day, I just made a half batch.
Is that why it's gone already?
Yes. What was I thinking?
Maybe you were just silly.
Apparently I was. So I need to make another batch of that because we really like that one.
Sometimes she does silly things.
How about you? Do you ever do silly things?
No, I'm nearly perfect.
I am so lucky that I live with someone who is nearly perfect. I must be the luckiest woman.
That's my theme for 2023.
That you're nearly perfect?
In 2023, yep.
Nearly perfect in 2023?
Yep, are we eating
just
lunch?
This year?
Are we going to eat lunch?
You weren't nearly perfect before that? Have you been holding out on me for all these years?
Right, I'm just stating the 1 year because I don't want to get wrapped in long-term commitments that I'm not sure I can keep.
Okay, so you just want to make a commitment that you'll be nearly perfect for this year.
Yep.
And then next year...
It'll be subject to renewal.
Well, thank you for letting me know.
That's how Jesse would have me do it.
This is good disclosure,
yeah,
I think.
That would be Jesse's advice.
If you brought the iPad over here, or I go get it, then we could be watching the chat feed.
They're all talking about smashing
What are they smashing?
They're talking amongst themselves right now.
Are they? Okay. Yeah. Well, so are we.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty much done, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's time to sign off and get lunch.
Okay.
So you don't need your iPod.
Well, I just wanted to see what they were saying because I can't see anything over there.
They're just talking about, well, I can't move that because that's streaming.
Right.
I didn't bring the other computer out.
I saw that.
Because this was supposed to be a quick, easy
Well, it is,
session.
Isn't it? It was a quick and easy one, wasn't it?
I just drew up one camera and we're using sunlight from the windows. We're not even using our studio lights because this was a quick, just throw some stuff up and get live. So
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So anyway.
It says I'm live. There it is.
All right.
All right. Well, I hope you guys will give this recipe a try. We think it's really fun. And
if you don't have a Venturist V1200, if you don't have a Vitamix and you want the self-detect that I think you probably talked about while I was messing with sound and such.
I did talk about it at the beginning.
These things are great, and it's almost like half the price of what we paid for this one on the certified reconditioned promotion at Vitamix. Good till April 6th. I put links in the show notes and up earlier in the chat. I did I made a short little bit.ly one because our actual link is really long for some reason. So I made a bit.ly one that just says Vitamix-nutmeg, which is kind of easier to copy and paste or to click on. So anyway,
you got to try
Jesse
it.
says I'm right about something. I think, having commitments last year and then renew them as you go.
Well, we don't want a lot of pressure on you.
No.
We don't want you to feel pressured.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, thanks a bunch for joining us. We hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. The sun is shining here today.
Again, the second day in a row we have sunshine.
Yes, it's so exciting. So maybe we can even get outside today.
It's supposed to almost get up to 60.
Oh, well, I would like to get outside and maybe I probably can't do a fast walk, but I can do a stroll.
Okay.
That would be nice. So, Jesse, thank you for joining us. Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful Sunday. And the recipe is already on the blog, so check it out.
Yeah, she wrote the blog post, started an hour before we went live. So this was really...
This is
the fastest concept delivery recipe I think that you have ever done.
Probably.
You experimented with this morning.
I did.
Made this one.
Yep.
Made another one.
Yep.
Wrote a blog post.
Yep.
I did thumbnails, put up a video thing, scheduled it.
Made salads.
Okay.
We're on a roll.
We're almost both nearly perfect.
Almost. But I'm not making no promises.
I'm going to go now.
All right, I'm Tami.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you
get healthy and stay healthy. One meal at a time. Bye.
Bye, you guys. Thanks, Jesse.